Why, hello there YouTube and welcome to a Revolting review. So, I am Random Ross, and I thought let's have a double feature. So, in this one I'm reviewing Halloween and Halloween, 1978 and 2018. So, let's start with where it all started, the original Halloween. So, as you know, Halloween Kills isn't far away now, and this is probably before October because, well, throughout October I'm going to be uploading every single day, and on Halloween night I'll be uploading like 3 videos and what have you. So I thought I'll review Halloween 1978 and its 2018 sequel because, just a revisit and that before the new one comes out. And I thought, let's just have them together. So I'm going to go with the timeline in this where it's the Old Man Myers timeline. So the original, then the 2018 one, because all the other movies in this franchise, in this timeline, are not canon. They're not relevant to these two. So I'm just going to go and review Halloween 1978 and 2018. So Halloween 1978, written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, and directed by John Carpenter, starring Donald Pleasence, Jamie Lee Curtis, PJ Soles, Nancy Loomis, and Nick Castle as the Shape, or Michael Myers. So you know the story. Halloween night, 1963, little Michael Myers, dressed as a clown, kills his sister Judith, and then about 15 years later in 1978 he escapes and goes on a killing spree wearing a white Captain Kirk mask and a boiler suit, and for some reason he knows how to drive. Anyway, he stalks these babysitters, these 3 girls, Laurie Stroad, Linda, and Annie. And Michael, is out for blood. He's out to kill, and he does get 2 of them girls and the boyfriend. And of course, Dr. Loomis, played by Donald Pleasence, is out to stop Michael, and of course at the end he shoots him 6 times and he falls from the balcony, and then is laid there lifeless, and then he's gone. And then at the time that was something very fresh, but is now being cliched to death these days. So that's the story. So what did I like about this one? Well, I liked that we got, that this was one of the godfathers of the slasher genre. So, before we got Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as like slashers and stuff, but this one really put the slasher genre on the map with the way he was slashing and killing. And so this was like early days, and it was one of its best ones. I also liked Michael Myers. Now, he was played by Nick Castle in this one, and he was just so good. He was, sinister. He was menacing. He just had that white mask, and the way Dr. Loomis in that scene describes him, he's basically describing the mask he's wearing as well. And Michael is just creepy, and it's like, what is his motive? Why is he doing this and that? And it had good suspense. I love the leading role from Donald Pleasence playing Dr. Loomis, and the role was originally offered to Christopher Lee first, but he turned it down, seeing no potential in this movie. But of course, once he saw the success of this film, he was kicking himself after. But Donald Pleasence did a great job in this. Also, Laurie Strode's the character of Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, this was her big breakout role. Now, no one had ever heard of Jamie Lee Curtis until this movie came out. Back then, she was like, basically the daughter of Janet Leigh, and this made her an overnight success. I also thought, the cinematography in this looked old, but it worked. It looked good, and I enjoyed that. I really did. I also liked the score and the soundtrack, which I believe John Carpenter put together himself. So, you know, kudos to him. And of course, this movie was really low budget, really low budget. I mean, John Carpenter did say at the end of the day, all they wanted to do was just make a simple movie, originally titled The Babysitter Murders. But then they thought, yeah, let's call it another one. They thought, I know what, let's take The Holiday of Halloween and make it that title. Not only that, the original idea was for Michael to wear a clown mask because they had such a tight budget, but the props designer came to him with a Don Post Captain Kirk mask, and they ripped the sideburns off, ruffled up the hair, and made the eye holes bigger and painted it white, and the legend was born. Of course, over the course of the series, they had to change the look because Star Trek people started wanting royalties for it. But this one is probably the best one in the franchise. It's just the best one that much that it's remained canon throughout the whole timelines that it's endured throughout the years. So, yeah, it was good. There were moments in there where it was like, God, why is no one up during Halloween? She's running around the streets screaming, and, I'm like, what the hell? But other than that, this is a classic. It stood the test of time, and it is a brilliant one, and I very much enjoy this one. It is good. So, ratings, I'll give it 5 machetes out of 5. So let's get on to our next bit of this double feature review, Halloween 2018. So, Halloween 2018, it's written by Jeff Fradley, Danny McBride and David Gordon Green, directed by David Gordon Green, based on the characters by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. And this stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, Andi Matichak or something. I'm butchering her name, I'm not going to try and get it right. Will Patton, Virginia Gardner, and Hulka Bilgera, and James Jude Courtney, with Nick Castle. So, this is set 40 years after the events of the original. As I said earlier, all the sequels that followed after the original are no longer canon. This is a direct sequel to this, the 1978 one. So, in it, Laurie Stroad isn't Michael's sister in it, which was the story arc throughout the franchise originally, but yeah, they're no longer brother and sister. Laurie is a sole survivor of Michael Myers in 1978 and suffers from PTSD because, and has badassed herself up in that time and prepared for his return. And in this one, she has a daughter called Karen and a granddaughter called Allison, played by Judy Greer and Andi, what's her name? And they plan to, basically what happens is Michael breaks out and resumes his killing spree, and Laurie is ready for him. And of course, in a big shock of events, we find out that the whole thing was orchestrated by Dr. Randia Sartain. Dr. Sartain, who is the successor of Dr. Loomis, because Donald Pleasance is dead now. So, of course, over that time he's took over as Michael's personal psychiatrist. But we find out that he's just as nuts and orchestrated the whole thing because he wanted to experiment and see Michael at work. So, and of course, in a big duel to the death in the finale, when the 3 generations of women, Laurie, her daughter Karen, and her granddaughter Allison, band together and trap Michael by home aloneing the little cabin Laurie lives in, and then cooking Michael alive in a fire, and that's where the movie ends. But in a post-credit scene, we hear Michael's iconic breathing, saying things in motion for a sequel, which is happening. Halloween Kills. So what did I like about this one? Well, I like that this was a sequel to the original, and they still respected the original. And even one part, in one scene, Alison is talking with her friends, and they say, weren't they brother and sister, and say, no, that was just a rumour. I like that they acknowledge some of those things. There's even a scene where there's some kids in the masks from Halloween 3. So they pay tribute to that. I love the Easter eggs we got in this. I love that we got Nick Castle back playing Michael. Only cameo form though, when we see him at the beginning and we see him in a window, because Nick Castle's a bit old to be doing all the physical stuff, so when he was masked it was James Jude Courtney, which did a good enough job playing Michael in those scenes. Of course, Michael is one of the main parts of this. This is a whole ordeal that's been between Laurie and Michael, and it's like they pick up from where they left off in 78. Only this time Laurie is all badass. She's Sarah Connored herself, and I like the character improvement she made as well. Of course, she's had 40 years of experience in all of her acting, so she's a lot better now in this, and I loved her. I love that they got Jamie Lee Curtis back for this one. I also liked that I actually was surprised by this one at how good it was. Of course, I do have my dislikes, such as Alison's boyfriend being a dick, and his character not really liking him and stuff. And I thought that was a bit of it was a good plot twist where his doctor was in on the whole thing. But at the same time, I thought he was going to be like the new Dr. Loomis, which turned out he wasn't. So I'm thinking, did we even need that bit in there? But other than that, it is a great sequel, and I love this one. One of the best sequels since the original Halloween 2, I would say. And yeah, it is a good one, and I look forward to Halloween Kills. It should have been out a year ago, but of course, due to the COVID pandemic, it got delayed a year. That's one of the only faults, having a movie set around a particular holiday. It's going to be out around that time. So, ratings. Do you know what? I'll give this one 4 machetes out of 5. So, 4 machetes out of 5 for Halloween 2018. So, there you go. There's my double feature of Revolting reviews. So have you seen these two movies? I'm sure you have if you're watching and you're looking forward to Halloween Kills. Let me know down in the comments below if you have it. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and to share with your friends, and to feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell. All my social media links are linked down below in the description, so be sure to check all that out. I've been Random Ross, and this has been a Revolting Reviews. And until next time, don't have nightmares.